Thank you. We'll start with our locals first, up to 2 questions each, and take any other questions afterwards. Graham, when you're ready, please.
Daniel, does this feel like a game that you'll come away from with some regrets?
No, we come away disappointed because obviously, we gave our supporters, our second to non-fan base, so much to dream about, and of course, we would have loved to let them dream a bit longer. And after a loss in a tight game, you're always a bit disappointed. Don't want to miss to say congratulations to Chelsea first, that they're through to the final. I think overall it was a very tight game. Could have gone into both directions. I just saw the statistic in terms of expected goals, shots on target, big chances missed. We were the better side. But it's also fair to say that I think we were not at our free-flowing best in the first half. I think a bit unnecessary. We had losses of the ball in possession, were sometimes even a bit clumsy in the build-up, and you could tell that the players were today perhaps even a bit nervous. So much was made out of this game, and it's also not that these players are used to play in front of 90,000 on Champions League level once a week. So it was a big and huge game, of course, and perhaps they were a bit too nervous in order to be at their very best level. It was not the case that we were played out of the park. It was the other way around. We had the first big chance, and Sanchez there with a great save against Brennan Aronson. But to all their chances, we more or less assisted a little bit, like on the goal, more or less like a bit unnecessary, but nervous mistake. We initialized more or less like their counterattack. And if on the other hand you have players like Neto, like Enzo, like João Pedro, of course they can find the back of the net and work clinical. Second half we brought the game to them a lot very early. Also went for man against man in the pressing. Their goalkeeper again with great saves against Anton, against Dominic. But you also have to say, so our deliveries, our crosses, our set piece deliveries, normally a big strength of us, they were not that tidy today. So in and around the opponent's box, we had not this clarity and this tidiness in order to create more clear-cut chances. So for that, Chelsea had for everything what we were throwing after them or what we asked them the answer. And you also have to give credit to them. Their defensive behavior was pretty clinical, and for that, you have to accept that they are through to the next round. So congratulations to them. It doesn't take anything away that we're of course disappointed. Yes.
Another tactical timeout today against your team, and Ethan Ampadu obviously made an issue of it. How did you see that?
Yes, I spoke about this topic several times during the season and made my feelings clear. After loss, I want to show some class and no comments from my side after loss, because it would just be judged as excuses or distraction anyhow. So after loss, no comments. I want to show some class.
Are you pleased that Ethan went over and made an issue of it? Are you pleased that's how he reacted, to try and steer that moment into your favour rather than theirs?
Whatever it is. So I spoke about this topic, what I think should be done, and also from the officials anyhow, and what I think about this behavior. But again, I don't want to make a big topic after loss out of this. After win, I would have said a few words about this if we would have turned the game, because then it's also loud after loss. It just calls for, it's more like okay, he's crying because he's losing or searching for excuses. I don't want to go into this trap, and for that I want to show some class.
The midfield battle in the first half, that seemed to be an issue, didn't it? And Anton seemed to improve that. Was there a surprise in how Chelsea set up pre-match and how they managed to wrestle control in that first half and dominated?
No, they've set up exactly also like the process that they played, exactly what we thought would be. I think on the other hand, it's more or less like even if you analyze them, it's still Chelsea is still a side of full packed top class players with top potential, and then it's a bit like with a new manager, then it's also a bit like the excuses away, and they want to prove that it was not them more or less who are responsible for the last losses. And when you have a good bunch of football players and you have them doing the basics right, then it's a really dangerous side. This is what happened today. Nevertheless, we were not played out of the park, but again, I think in our possession to be a bit more tidy on the ball, to play with a bit more confidence, a bit more bravery, to bypass their lines a bit more. We've played too many long balls in the first half. Normally also strength from us, but should have prepared the situation a bit better. And of course, and the mistakes in the build-up have led to all their chances. And first loss anyhow was more or less like the unnecessary mistake was a shot against the post. Second was the goal, and the third was more or less a strike from João Pedro. 3 unnecessary losses anyhow, and this is what you shouldn't allow yourself on this level. Although also have to say, when you have a look on what they really have created out of expected goals, you have to say they were pretty clinical also to win this game. Yeah.
Daniel, 4 games left in the Premier League. How do you pick your players up after this? What was the message to them at full time?
Yes, we don't dwell under this loss. So we had nothing to lose today, just a lot to win, and we are disappointed we didn't win this game. And once the dust is settled, everyone knows that we gave our supporters and our club so much to be proud of, and to give them the best one since 4 decades. So it's a testament of how well the players have done. Right now, from tomorrow onwards, morning onwards, we just concentrate on our bread and butter business, and this is to earn survival on Premier League level. Not often this has happened for a newly promoted side in the recent years. We have a good chance. 40 points already with 4 points to play. And right now, so far during the whole season, we concentrate on each and every game to win as many points as possible. And if we do so, then we have also a great chance to achieving our main goal, and this is to stay up.
Obviously, you'll be feeling a lot of pain, but it's been a terrific and historic FA Cup run. There's lots to be proud about. So what have you learned about your side throughout this cup run?
Yes, overall that we have also the mentality in difficult periods and crunch time periods to be very clinical and to win many games. Otherwise, you don't take part in the semi-final. Also the quality, because we had difficult fixtures as well. Great character, because we also rotated a lot. Also that we need to use the whole team. So many positive things to take out of it. Also perhaps to learn out of this game. And once there's another big game, hopefully not, we don't have to wait again 40 years till we achieve this again. Once this opportunity comes around, then to be a bit less nervous and it's more business as usual, to be then more natural in your strength. But even then it's no guarantee, because there's also an opponent at the other side who tries to go through, and of course Chelsea is then still in such a game a bit the favorite. Today was not to be, and of course we are disappointed today and suffer a little bit today, but from tomorrow on we can be very proud of this one. Yes.
Stuart.
Daniel, saw Gabriel Gudmundsson limping at the end. What's the initial thoughts on how he is?
Yes, seems like to be a hamstring injury. At least it looks like this. So of course not great news. We have to assess him right now. Can't give you a time frame, but it seems to be a hamstring injury.
And in terms of Anton Stach, who obviously had a big impact when he came on, I presume that he wasn't capable of more minutes, was he? What was the thinking in terms of what you could get out of him today?
No, obviously he had a ligament injury, was expected to be out till the beginning of May. On Friday, he was the first time back in team training. He's an important player for us. Normally, if you're out for 3.5 weeks, then normally 2 sessions are not enough to take part, but it was a special occasion, and also Anton is a very special player for us, and for that we went a bit against our principles and took him into the squad, and I think he has played also really good second half. It's good to have him back right now, and also for him it will give him confidence also in his body again to be able to deliver. But 45 minutes I was a bit concerned, especially our medical department was a bit concerned when I brought him on at halftime. Was definitely not 1 minute longer possible, probably even during a potential extra time would have had to take him off anyway, but I want to take the risk today in order to turn the game.
Yep. Daniel, incredible atmosphere from your fans today, and we've spoken about the historic cup run as well. Do you think this can really help in the final Premier League games, bring the club all together to achieve that main goal that you mentioned?
Yeah, the club is all together. I've mentioned several times this club was always at its very best when this club was united, when there was a big bond between players, hierarchy, and our supporters. This fan base is really second to none, very special and very unique, and definitely a huge, passionate Premier League fan base. And they were outstanding for us during the whole season. And I think such occasion creates this bond, or strengthen this bond even a bit more. But even without this game, would have no doubt that they are like a 12th man behind us and like a wall behind us and will carry us also for the run in, yes.
Anyone else? Thank you. Have a safe journey back.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.